Welcome to Insta Owl's classes. We at Insta Owl believe in democratizing education for one and for all. Welcome, students. Let's start studying another interesting topic in history, the age of industrialization. The dawn of industrialization. Let's see. The dawn of the century. So industrialization started from the 20th century. It started from the 1900s and then it picked up pace till the 21st century. E.T. Paul's 1900 music book. E.T. Paul was a music company. He has started a music company. In that music company, when they made the first music book, it had a very peculiar poster. We'll see. The cover art featuring Angel of Progress symbolizing the new century's promise. So the Angel of Progress is a personification of a woman who is seeing the progress of the 20th century. The Angel of Progress, she winged figure on a wheel holding a flag symbolizing time and forward movement. Let's see the signs of progress. It includes railways, cameras, machines, printing press and factories as symbols of technological advancement. Yes, please look at the screen. This is the picture, Dawn of the Century. An illustration of Dawn of the Century published by E.T. Paul Music Company in New York and England, 1900. Let's see the Instabites. Environmental issues. Industrialization has led to pollution and climate change, yes, causing health problems and environmental disasters. So with progress, we are also seeing the negative effects of progress, that is environmental disasters. Nuclear weapons. The development of nuclear technology has created powerful weapons, leading to global security threats and devastating consequences like Hiroshima and Nagasaki in the World War II. Let's see the pre-factory industrial era. Now, when we start studying anything about industrialization, we have to study the pre-industrialization era, the industrialization era, and the post-industrialization era. Let's see the perception of industrialization. Factory-based. Now, when it comes to industry, industrialization comes from the word industry. And what is the meaning of industry? Industry means anything where you make something, like a factory, like a machine, like any plant. Let's see factory-based view. Commonly linked with the growth of factory industries and industrial production, often thought to be solely factory-based. Industrial workers are called as factory workers, typically associated with factory workers. But let's rethink industrialization. In the pre-factory era, significant industrial production existed before factories catering to international markets. So we just see that a factory is a building which has been built and that's why it's called an industry. No, we've already had industrialization before the factories also came. That was because of global trade. That is when merchants went from one place to another. There was still international market which existed. It was only the building of industries or factories which gave more prominence to the industrial era. Proto-industrialization. Proto means early. Proto means early. Early phase recognized for large-scale production outside of factories. Merchant movement to rural areas. 17th and 18th century shift. Merchants relocated from towns to rural areas. Now remember, 17th, 18th century, this was pre-industrial era. There was no industries this time. There were only merchants. So when merchants would move, they would move for trade. But remember that there were towns and then there were villages. So what happened in the villages was, this is a countryside. This did not have much rules and regulations. But towns had their own guilds. Guilds means these are corporations of merchants and traders who have monopoly over the market, who can regulate the market prices. So why they're saying this was a shift? Because merchants could not go here where there were guilds and towns. They had to go to the villages so that they could trade easily. Supporting peasant production. What did the merchants do? Now, the merchants are traders. What did they do in the village areas? They provided funds to peasants and artisans to produce goods for global trade. Like I told you, there was global trade in the 17th, 18th century. Now, they would give money to the peasants and say, please take this money and weave a cloth for me. Please take this money, make pots for me so that I can take it with me for global trade. Let's see the impact of global trade growth. Increased demand, expansion of world trade and colonies raised the demand for goods. Yes, we have seen from the 18th century that they started making colonies. Urban production challenges, guilds in towns, limited opportunities for new merchants. Guilds and monopolies, guild influence, regulated production, restricted competition and controlled entry into trades. That is why it was difficult to trade where there were guilds. Like I told you, guilds are groups or corporations of merchants. Monopoly rights. Monopoly means only one-person rules. So the person ruling or the guild ruling was that trader guild. Monopoly rights, guilds held exclusive rights to produce and trade specific goods. Expansion of rural production, merchant strategy. They shifted production to the countryside to bypass these guild restrictions. Peasant and artisan engagement. New employment. Poor peasants and artisans began working for these merchants. Impact of enclosures. Loss of common lands forced peasants to seek alternative income sources. The impact of enclosures means what? First, there was very lot of common land. Peasants could go graze their cattle, get food, get herbs, get medicine. But now this all stopped. Why? Because of colonization, because of the change. And then they were forced to now take money from the merchants so that they could build something as a side income. Seeking additional income. Small landholders, limited land couldn't sustain entire families. That's why they had to take up other income sources. Merchant advances, the merchant gave advance money. Peasants accepted advances from merchants to produce goods. Benefits of proto-industrial work, supplementing income. It provided additional income alongside farming and maximizing labor, enabled peasants to fully utilize family labor while staying in rural areas. Town-countryside linkage. Merchants in towns. Merchants were based in towns, but production occurred in the rural areas. Production chain. Wool was processed through various stages with final finishing in London. So why is this happening is because the merchants had to be in town. They had to be in town, but the peasants always stayed in the countryside and they would do all the work, but the finishing of the goods would come back to the town where the merchants would take them and then sell it. London as a textile hub. Finishing center. London became known as a finishing center for textiles before export. Yes, London became the main center for export. Proto-industrial network, commercial exchanges. A system controlled by merchants with production happening on family farms. So please understand what is happening before industrialization area. We have merchants, we have rural families who are working for the merchants who process the whole product, but it is finished only in the towns. Employment scale, yes, it did increase. Merchants employing 20-25 workers at each production stage, managing hundreds overall. This on the screen is an illustration of spinning in the 18th century. Let's see the rise of the factory era in England. Early factory development, 1730s beginnings. First factories in England emerged in the 1730s. Late 18th century boom, significant increase in the number of factories by late 18th century. Now, because trade was increasing, people were increasing, population was increasing, there was a population boom also. What was happening? Now, we had to build an area where everybody could work together. And that is why they started increasing factories. Factories means places where you could get all the workers together and make an assembly line for products. Cotton is a symbol of change. Cotton production growth. Cotton production surged in the late 18th century. Rising imports. Raw cotton imports to Britain increased from 2.5 million pounds in 1760 to 22 million pounds by 1787. This import was from India to Britain. Technological advancements, 18th century inventions. Innovations in carding, twisting, spinning and rolling improved production efficiency. These are innovations for cotton production. Increased output. Enhanced productivity per worker and the ability to produce stronger threads and yarn. So cotton is always spinned, twisted into threads and then made into yarn, and the yarn is converted into textile. Let's see the cotton mill innovation. Richard Arkwright's contribution. Creation of the cotton mill's centralized production. Now, we had to get the workers together, cotton workers, into a cotton mill to centralize production. Shift from rural to mill production. Previously dispersed cloth production in villages moved to mills. This was the shift. Centralized control. Mills allowed better supervision, quality control, and labor regulation. Factories as a part of the landscape. Early 19th century expansion, factories became a prominent feature of the English landscape. Now, like I tell you, from the rural side, we're moving to the factories. The factories now became a part of the landscape of England. Technological marvel, the power of new technology in mills captivated public attention, overshadowing traditional workshops. This is an illustration of Lancashire cotton mill. Please look at the screen. This is an illustration of chimneys billowing smoke came to characterize the industrial landscape of England. So what have we seen in this part? We've seen the dawn of industrialization. We have seen before industrialization, we have seen that there is something known as proto-industrialization or early industrialization, where there is global and merchant trade. And then we come to the rise of factories, that is in the late 18th and the 19th century, where you can see that factories have been building for cotton, for production, for more trade, and it has come more to the merchant side, that is the town side. This is how factories have started in the dawn of industrialization. I hope you all are enjoying studying industrialization with me, students. Please keep watching InstaL's next video on the same chapter. Thank you.